Aloha, Gary Moore's here, Coldwell Banker Island Properties, and I am standing in Maulaya on some grass right next to the beach. What a beautiful setting we have here. If you are looking for a bargain in real estate, I think Maulaya is the place to be right now in this year when everything else is going crazy. It's still a good deal down here. About half of the buildings in Maulaya are going to be leasehold and about half are fee simple. Now, leasehold means that you don't technically own the land. You lease the land. Fee simple means you're buying the land too and you own it in perpetuity. So what I'm going to do is just give you a little bit of an explanation as to why would somebody buy a leasehold condo. Well, right here I'm at Kanayanalu, which is pretty close to the end of the road in Maulaya. There's a park right down here at the end. Kanayanalu is a leasehold property. The lease goes until 2066. And so here we are in 2021. So we've got another 45 years, right, left on the lease. That means you can get a 30-year mortgage. People buy these for several different reasons. For example, you can get a condo in here right now, a 2-bedroom, gorgeous ocean view condo on the sand with a swimming pool and everything else for about $525,000. Now, if you just go a couple doors over to a 2-bedroom condo that's fee simple, you're going to pay almost $800,000. So you're saving $250,000 roughly by not buying the land with the condo. And people buy them for lots of reasons. For example, one lady bought a leasehold down in South Kihei, and she just said, you know what, I own a lot of real estate, and my kids are going to be fine when I die, and I want to spend the rest of my life on the beach. And so I'm going to buy this condo, and frankly, I don't care if it doesn't have any value after I die. That's one reason that somebody might buy a leasehold. Other reasons, people roll the dice. Because a lot of times what happens is the landowner, let's say, for example, the landowner of this piece of land dies, and then there are heirs. Say there are 2 or 3 heirs to the land. Well, most of the time siblings can't ever agree on what to have for dinner, let alone whether or not to keep a piece of real estate. And so usually what ends up happening is they decide to sell it. Who do they sell it to? They sell the land to the homeowners association of the building itself. And then each individual unit owner has the option to purchase the land from the homeowners association. And by doing that, you may end up actually getting a really good deal because you might buy the land for less than you would have. When you add that to the condo cost, it ends up being less than it would have been if you'd have bought fee simple up the street, you know, when you first bought. So that's another reason. Something else that happens quite often in these leasehold properties is that the landowner will just extend the lease. They'll extend it for a number of years, and you know, another 10, 20, 30 years. And so as soon as they do that, of course, that adds value to the property because now people know they're going to get to stay another 10, 20, or 30 years in their property, and it makes it more marketable. The downsides of leasehold, well, the closer you get to the end of the lease, if the landowner doesn't sell the land to the association or extend the lease, it becomes a depreciating asset. I mean, you can imagine if you've got 10 years left on the lease, it's going to be harder to sell than if you have 50 or 60 years left on the lease. So it can become a depreciating asset, and technically, the way it's written in the lease, you could own nothing at the end of the lease. The landowner can just tell everybody in the buildings to leave. Now that brings me to another story about a huge subdivision over in Oahu many years ago. The landowner tried to do exactly that, throw all the lessees out at the end of the term of the lease. And the lessees took the landowner to court and filed a class action lawsuit against the landowner. And because we are a liberal state, the judges found in favor of the lessees, even though they all signed the agreement that says that they'll leave at the end of the lease. The judge says to the landowner, no, you've got to either extend the lease or you're going to have to sell the land to the association. And so that's what ended up happening, and those people did quite well. I have never seen any place in the state of Hawaii where a landowner has successfully thrown the people out on a leasehold property. So it's there's a little bit of a gamble, but how much of a gamble, you know, I guess it depends on you and whether or not you have much of a tolerance for that kind of risk. Because for $500,000, you're not going to get fee simple oceanfront anywhere on this island, unless, well, if you went to Molokai, you might get something, but on the island of Maui, probably not. So that gives you a little bit of an idea. Cost-wise, you're going to spend more money per month on a leasehold property because you not only have your maintenance fees, but you have your land lease payment. You'll make a payment every month on the land because you don't own it. And so it's almost like you bought fee simple as far as cost goes, because you're paying a fair return to the landowner on the land, and in addition to the cost of your condo. But it does let you get into a 2-bedroom on the beach for a very good price. So I hope that helps clear up a little bit about leasehold. If leasehold is a little above your risk for tolerance, then we should talk fee simple. Maybe we could go to North Kihei across the street from the beach for about the same price as here, right on the water, leasehold. That's it for now. I hope this education has helped you a little bit, and until next time, aloha from Gary Moores.